Welcome to another episode of the Bandage Podcast, a weekly wrap-up of the most trending healthcare news. Each week, we'll discuss the latest in healthcare, health IT, and compliance.
In this week's episode, we discuss a new, very deadly strain of bird flu in Colorado, a new cure for sickle cell disease, and linking fast food to liver disease and death. Let's wrap things up. This is episode 169 for the week of January 23rd. I'm Matt Moneypenny.
And I'm Albert Bettistelli.
Before we get started, our diagnosis code of the week is Y93.J1 or piano playing.
That's
I
wild.
guess carpal tunnel, maybe. I don't really know.
Sure, it could be. It could be just you're playing so aggressively you just snap a finger.
Yeah, maybe like the key protector that's like on a hinge.
Yeah.
And then the cartoons, they always slam on the cartoon character's fingers. Maybe that's exactly what this is.
That's what this is.
150%. Yep. That's awesome.
It's the only thing it could be.
Some of these diagnosis codes I view as kind of like achievements in life.
Oh yeah.
Like I got I got struck by a dolphin. Check that off my list. Achievement unlocked. It's like once in a lifetime opportunities.
I like it.
So, it's pretty sweet. This is definitely one of those. First up, we have bird flu. A new strain of highly pathogenic bird flu has killed around 1,600 snow geese in two separate areas of Colorado since November. Unlike prior strains of the disease in North America, this strain is causing widespread mortality in some species of wild birds, particularly in snow geese, raptors, and vultures. Colorado Parks and Wildlife began receiving reports of sick and dead snow geese in northeastern Colorado in late 2022. It documented over 1,000 deaths on several waterways in Morgan and Logan counties. What the heck is a raptor? I thought those were dinosaurs.
Raptor,
I thought those were gone.
Bird of prey.
Bird of prey. Who calls them raptors, though?
Nobody. I don't know. Maybe it's actually a bird. I don't know. But
I think you're right. I Googled it, and it looks like the term raptor is derived from the Latin word rapio, meaning to seize or take by force. The common names for various birds of prey are based on structure, but many of the traditional names do not reflect the evolutionary relationships between the groups.
Okay.
So you are right, bird of prey. We're not talking about like...
Right. It's no cardinal
we're
here.
Talking about, we're not talking about Jurassic Park. We're talking about real animals, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. No clever girl. No, none of that kind of raptor.
None of that stuff. I think... bird flu's back, I guess. I remember back in the day when bird flu was like, oh my gosh, this could be the next strand of disease. Right. And then it actually, that eventually happened in 2020 with COVID, but that wasn't a bird flu. That was just a COVID.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But snow geese, if you're a snow goose listening to this podcast,
be careful.
Watch out.
Stay indoors.
Be careful out there. Yeah. Wear masks.
Wear your mask.
Distance.
Right. But this is why, isn't this part of the reason the price of eggs are going up? Because there's a bird flu?
I think you're right.
And the eggs are
a new currency.
Astronomical.
They're a new currency. I'm gonna sell a dozen eggs on eBay for aftermarket price.
Okay, sorry. Next up, we've got approving sickle cell cure. 2 drug companies are seeking approval from the Food and Drug Administration for gene therapies that may provide what amounts to a cure for sickle cell disease. The genetic disorder produces misshapen red cells that become wedged in blood cells. The 2 gene therapy drugs have been in clinical trials. Treatment starts with intense chemotherapy in a hospital to wipe the bone marrow clean, leaving space for genetically modified red blood cells that result from the treatment. Patients then spend about a month in the hospital waiting for the modified cells to grow. After they are discharged, the patients are immunocompromised for about 6 months while their immune systems recover.
Whoa.
That's wild.
Sickle cell's huge. I mean, it's a big issue. So
that is a big issue. Lots of people suffer from sickle cell, yeah.
And it's kind of like a really sad disease. Like it's just kind of like, wow, this really sucks.
Yeah, but this is great that there's an actual treatment for it and that there's a potential fix.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
That would be huge. Especially if they can just eradicate it entirely. That would be awesome.
Right.
Any kind of disease that's you're born with is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that is.
So any kind of disease, any kind of cure that goes towards those diseases, I'm on board. All right.
Yeah.
I'm on board with trying to cure those for sure. Next up, kick the fatty train.
Yeah.
Choo-choo. If you needed another reason to kick that late-night McDonald's habit, a new eye-opening study on the negative impact of fast food may provide just that. A peer-reviewed study from Keck Medicine of USC has found that consumption of fast food is associated with a potentially life-threatening condition of non-alcoholic fatty liver disorder. The researchers compared the fatty liver measurements of approximately 4,000 adults in the survey to their consumption of fast food and found that 52% of those evaluated consumed fast food. Of this group, 29 consumed 20% or more of their daily calories on fast food. This percentage of people were found to have severely high levels of fat in their liver compared to those who consumed less or none at all. The researchers hope that these findings encourage healthcare providers to offer patients more dietary education in the future to those at a higher risk of developing NAFLD from fast food.
Okay. Well, 20% of their daily calories?
I mean, let's see. I don't know if that's that much.
Well, daily? I just feel like
Yeah, I guess. I'm daily.
I don't know how you break it
doesn't
down.
say-
Do you look at the week and then just kind of break it down what would be considered daily, or
I don't
every
know.
day they're going to McDonald's for
Right.
20% of their
Yeah,
food?
we don't know like if it's like if that daily is like every day they're having 20%
Right.
or like they have
on average.
had 20% of fast food in a day consume their calories, right? Because if it's the first way, then that's really bad and gross. But if it's the second way, then it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you have fast food, that's probably going to be more than 20% of your daily calories, just in general.
Oh, for sure. Anytime you eat fast food, it's going to be most of your day. Like,
I feel like millennials, you know, I don't think this hit Gen Z as hard, but
No.
like millennials with what was that documentary about McDonald's?
oh, fat. Super Size Me.
Size Me. Yeah. So Super Size Me came out, and like I go to McDonald's, like the only time I ever eat McDonald's is when I'm on a road trip. And the only reason why I eat McDonald's on a road trip is because that's the only flipping restaurants available when I'm in the middle of West Virginia
Nowhere.
and there's
Right.
no gas stations for the next 60 miles.
Yeah. I feel like I used to be a lot worse about McDonald's or just fast food in general. And now I limit it. Maybe about once a week, I'll stop at like an Arby's, or I'll stop at somewhere that's just fat. Like I just need something quickly,
Yeah. Yeah.
but definitely not daily. Definitely not even like
I'm also
most.
interested in what they
days.
consider fast food. Like, is it just McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, or
Right. Like is
are we
Chipotle
including-
fast food? Is
Right. Because
Panera
they say
fast
it's
food?
fast casual, but that could have just been a marketing ploy. We don't really know.
Right.
But you know, that's an interesting study. These
It
studies are
is.
going to continue, and unfortunately, people are still going to be eating fast food because
Right.
it is tasty and it is also
And kinda cheap.
easy. But everything in moderation, Albert.
Everything in moderation.
With that, let's go on to our next segment.
BREACH, Breach Patrol. It's a breach! All of the latest cybersecurity breaches.
Welcome to Breach Patrol. We talk about the latest breaches all across the world. Whoa,
Woo!
bang, bam. What do we got?
All right. Upgrade your locks, LifeLock. It's like I'm talking to them. Thousands of Norton LifeLock customers had their accounts compromised in recent weeks, potentially allowing criminal hackers access to customer password managers. In a notice to customers, Gen Digital, the parent company of Norton LifeLock, said that the likely culprit was a credential stuffing attack rather than a compromise of its systems. Credential stuffing is where previously exposed or breached credentials are used to break into accounts on different sites and services that share the same passwords. Gen Digital said that it sent notices to about 6,450 customers whose accounts were compromised.
Yeah. So my kind of way of life these days is if I'm making an account for something that I'm just trying out, because a lot of times there's apps and stuff that exist that are like, hey, if you the only way to access this is if you make an account, right? For something like that, I just kind of create a random string of characters, and then if I ever come back to it, I'll reset my password. And I think that's probably one of the most secure ways to do.
That's a good way to do it, yeah.
Password management is just because like otherwise you're gonna have the last thing you want to do is reuse your passwords, and the reason why is because this happens. They get one of your passwords and they throw it on all sorts of popular tools, and then if it lands, then they're going to look for sensitive information, and they know that you are reusing your password, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way that I do it. But you know, if you're going to have a different password for every single website, it's like not. I don't know. I don't feel like it's. I feel like that is a good thing in concept, but in practice, it's really hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Next up, why the long wait? Nissan North America has begun sending data breach notifications informing customers of a data breach at a third-party service provider that exposed customer information. The security incident was reported last Monday, January 16th, where Nissan disclosed that almost 18,000 customers were affected by the breach. Nissan claims it received notice of a data breach from one of its software development vendors on June 21st, 2022. On September 26, 2022, it verified that an unauthorized person had likely accessed the data. The exposed data includes full names, dates of birth, and Nissan finance account numbers, which is not good. In addition, the notice clarifies that the exposed information did not include credit card details or social security numbers.
Well, that's good. Better.
Yeah. What can they pull out of the finance account numbers?
Who knows? Maybe they can just look at how much you owe on your Nissan.
Like, man, this guy still owns a lot of money on his Altima. I feel bad for him.
Or this
He got a
guy's
bad
real
rate.
close. This guy's real close to paying his off. We should send him, give his information to one of those stupid companies that's like, we'll buy your car.
All right.
Or you get all those phone calls. Your warranty is expired.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of a shame, like if the financial account numbers, like with that, they could extrapolate some more details by calling the Nissan delership.
Yeah,
and asking them questions, like saying, you know, like through as like to kind of like reverse logic their way through a identification questions that people ask you, like, oh, what's your finance account number? And then you give it, and they're like, how can I help you? And you're like, hey, I don't have XYZ. Can you help me find it? And then that could be bad. But at least I didn't get the financial information.
Yeah, that's true. All right. One more here. Tracking patient portals. Community Health Network announced a data breach in their affiliate health organization, Fisher's Digestive Care, last week on Saturday. Community initiated an investigation and confirmed that third-party tracking technologies were installed on their websites, including the MyChart patient portal. The type of information that could have been breached includes names, medical record numbers, IP addresses, appointments, and insurance coverage. There is no indication that any social security numbers, financial account numbers, or debit or credit information was collected or transmitted through the third-party tracking.
Dun, dun, dun. Healthcare organization. We always have one.
Yep, there it is.
Getting access to MyChart is like essentially just your medical forms.
Right.
Which is, it's a cool little tool, but I mean, I guess that's bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want that information getting out there.
Insurance coverage. I mean, people could use your insurance coverage if they have that information and get prescriptions and stuff from doctors if they go to an appointment.
For sure.
And they pretend that you are them or they are you.
Right.
So. But no social security numbers. So overall,
which is nice. That's a good one.
This might be our first breach patrol ever where we don't have any social security numbers leaked. At least
thank
that
God.
I remember.
Wow.
Huge steps. Maybe everyone's just heeding our words.
That maybe we're making a real difference out there, Matt.
Thank you, Albert. I think you are too.
Oh, thanks.
Anyways, and that's it for this week's wrap up of your weekly healthcare news. I'm Matt Moneypenny.
And I'm Albert Battistelli.
And bye-bye. See you next week.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Bandage Podcast produced by eTactics.